Marvel may have just told us how Robert Downey Jr. becomes Doctor Doom in the MCU. If you don't know, Marvel released a comic today called The Ultimates #4, and the hype surrounding this book has been insane. The book's writer, Dennis Camp, tweeted out that if you want to understand Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, then you must read Ultimates 4 on September 4th. I even saw the rumor online that Robert Downey Jr. read an advanced copy of Ultimates 4, and that's what convinced him to come back. Not sure if that one's true, but it just shows the level of speculation around this book. And now the day is here, and Ultimates #4 is in my hands. So, did it reveal any big secrets for the MCU? Well, it's complicated. This comic doesn't directly feature an Iron Man variant turning into Doctor Doom, but it does transform another very well-known fan-favorite character into Doctor Doom. So it's very easy to see how this story can be taken and form-fitted into the MCU for Robert Downey Jr.'s reappearance. And it all starts with a character that we haven't met yet in the MCU called the Maker. The Maker is a multiversal variant of Reed Richards. In his universe, Sue Storm rejects his marriage proposal, and this sends him down a path of darkness that basically makes him more evil than Doctor Doom himself. In this new comic line, The Ultimates, the Maker uses time travel to create a new version of Earth, one that doesn't have superheroes. He meticulously changes the life path of anyone that was destined to become a superhero, so that he and a small council of supervillains can rule over this version of Earth from the shadows, unobstructed by his usual foes. However, there is a resistance. Some heroes who slipped through the cracks and learned the truth about what the Maker did. They consist of Tony Stark, who is only 15 years old in this series and goes by the codename of Iron Lad, Captain America, who had already been frozen in the ice before the Maker enacted his plan, Thor and Sif, who are both from other worlds entirely, and then Doctor Doom. But this time he's a good guy. It's explained to us at the beginning of the series that this world's Reed Richards became Doctor Doom, but it was a mystery throughout the first 3 issues as to how he actually took on that mantle. But in the 4th issue, the one that came out today, September 4th, we learned the truth. And this is what has everyone freaking out for its potential implications within the MCU. The issue starts with some Fantastic Four origin flashbacks. And it basically goes through the story about how, in this reality shaped by the Maker, the Fantastic Four's first mission was not a success. But not only was it not a success, it actually ended up killing the rest of the Fantastic Four and not giving them their iconic powers. So Reed Richards is the only one that remains, and he's put into a cell for the rest of his life for leading this catastrophic mission. As he's serving time, this is when the Maker gets his hand on this world's version of Reed. Remember, the Maker is Reed from another universe. So it's implied here that the Maker set up the rest of the Fantastic Four to die in this universe so he could shape Reed into whatever he wanted. It basically asks the question, what would you do if you could craft a new version of yourself from an outside perspective? And the Maker, in a twisted move, makes this new version of himself Doctor Doom. Even before Reed knows what's going on, the Maker just keeps calling him Doom, torturing him until he accepts that his new name is Doom. His face deforms into something unrecognizable until Reed even looks like the Doom that we've all come to know. And it's unclear why the Maker would do something like this. It hasn't been explained yet in the comic line, but I feel like the Maker did this for one of 2 reasons. The first being that even though there are no superheroes in this world, the Maker does still have his small council of supervillains that I mentioned earlier. Maybe he wanted this new version of Doom to rule alongside him. I think that's the most plausible rationale, but I also think there's a world in which he did it because he's just sadistic and he needs an arch enemy. This version of Reed, the Maker, whatever you want to call him, is evil and insane, and maybe it wasn't enough for him to just win. Maybe he wanted to give the Resistance some small chance of defeating him just for the thrill of it. But regardless of which of these 2 theories is right, it doesn't change the fact that the Maker did it. He took a well-known, established character like Reed Richards and he twisted him into Doctor Doom. And the parallels that this has with the announcement of Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom are simply too large to ignore. It shows that a character like Reed Richards has a breaking point where they can become something that they're not. It shows that characters in other multiverses can be kept from their destinies of becoming superheroes. So it's very plausible to think that there's a version of Tony Stark out there that was meant to become Iron Man, but that future is stolen from him. Maybe there's a Tony Stark out there that gets captured by the 10 Rings, just like he does in the first Iron Man movie, but in this reality, he doesn't make it out. They torture him and leave him malleable so that a bad actor can step in and create this new version of Doctor Doom. Maybe it's the Maker and they introduce him into the MCU. Or maybe it's someone else entirely. Maybe they recast Kang and have Kang twist Tony into something that he's not. After all, let's not forget that the next Avengers movie was supposed to be titled The Kang Dynasty. Reading this comic has really played with my head in terms of what I think can be possible in the MCU. Up until now, I thought Robert Downey Jr. would be playing Victor Von Doom, not a Tony Stark variant. But now I'm not so sure. I thought that since Marvel Studios had cast John Malkovich in the Fantastic Four movie in a mysterious role, that he would be the MCU's first Doctor Doom. I thought that he would assume the form of Tony Stark from Earth 616 as an attempt to come back as that world's savior and rule it. So things definitely just got a bit more complicated. But it's never been more apparent that life is a sandbox, and Marvel Studios has a plethora of options to give Robert Downey Jr. the entrance he deserves as Doctor Doom in the MCU. But what do you think? Do you think any of these theories carry weight? Let me know in the comments, and let me know how you would introduce Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom in the MCU if you were Kevin Feige. Please like, comment, and subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. I'll see you in the next one.